And now, everything Amazon operations with LT Apparel Group. Please welcome to the stage LT Apparel CEO Richard Sutton and Tinuiti's top Amazon ops guy, Phil Stolt.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone.
Okay.
Going in that effort there earlier. Get this going. So first of all, I'm Phil Stolt. Nice to meet you all. I'm SVP of Retail Operations. Retail Operations, fancy word for end-to-end services for Amazon. I've been doing Amazon for about 14 years. Worked at Amazon and ran the team sports division for 3 years at Amazon, and then started my own consulting agency with my partner, Adam Ortega, which was acquired by Tinuiti last year in March of 2021. That gets me here. I'm very excited to share the stage with Richard Sutton, who's become over the years a very good friend of mine. Was our first apparel client at Ortega Group about 7 years ago. Thank you for being here, Richard. Thank you for taking the time. Happy to have you here. LT Apparel is a licensee, global manufacturer of apparel, kids apparel. They do the brands Adidas, Carhartt, and French Toast. French Toast is one of the nation's leading kids uniform businesses. And it's really been an amazing success story. This is why we brought them out here today. We started with them basically at ground zero, Amazon, about 6 years ago, and then now are running a double-digit million-dollar business on Amazon annually. So really cool success story of how to get through all the last couple of years and the difficulties and the chaos. And so thank you for being here, Richard, and I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you for having me, Phil. Morning, everybody. So like Phil said, our company is called LT Apparel Group. We're in the consumer products business. We make kids' clothing. We've been doing it for over 60 years. I'm very fortunate. It's a family-owned business, actually started by my dad. And I've always been surrounded by really great individuals and great talent. I've always found that the more I invest in people, the better I do, the better my return. So it was an easy decision when I met Phil and really came to understand what he was all about and what he could bring to my company. I was super excited to get started and to really give him the opportunity to kind of help us as a company, and that's really what he did. When I really think about our early days of Amazon, as Phil mentioned, ground zero, what ground zero really means is we really knew nothing. And we really were struggling because we were really trying to get Amazon to do business in our model. We were a clothing company, we were somewhat successful, and we created our product and we sold it to our retail partners. And then along came Amazon and they had a whole new set of rules. And it certainly took us a while to figure out to know what we didn't know. And that's really where Phil came in and was really a game changer for us and extremely beneficial.
Awesome, thank you. So set the scene here a little bit. Chaos the last 2.5 years. I was fortunate enough to speak to a lot of CEOs in the apparel industry throughout COVID. It was a very difficult time for the apparel industry. Lots of POs getting canceled from retailers, lots of inventory that was set 9 months prior to COVID that didn't get set in the stores. Richard was one of the CEOs I obviously spoke with. And interestingly enough, LT Apparel was one of the few apparel clients that actually had a very successful outcome over the last 2.5 years during COVID and on Amazon. And it's because of the operational background that they had built the last 6 years. So they've become a top 3 brand inside of Amazon in kids and baby apparel. And really just ask Richard, how did we get there and how did you survive this really difficult challenges of COVID in the apparel industry?
I would say that I think it really starts with there's a saying that says you really create your own luck, you make your own luck. And I think we really started by a combination of things, including supply chain execution, including inventory planning, including stockpiling inventory that I thought we were going to be holding for years that we didn't even end up holding. We thought we were going to have to rent warehouses and do all these things, and the demand really came back a lot more than we thought. But it really all started with the operational strategy and really putting ourselves in position to win. So some examples of that would include, we made a decision early on in the pandemic. We have values at our company. One of our values is do the right thing. I don't think we have 5 values. None of them was spoken about more through pandemic than are we doing the right thing. One of the biggest decisions we made was not canceling any product, any factory, anywhere in the world. Our family built a reputation for 60 years. My dad taught us it takes a lifetime to build a reputation. You could destroy it in a day. And we weren't going to let that happen. So we committed to take every product from every factory. What does that have to do with Amazon? Because it allowed us to have inventory, allowed us to have product. Another thing we did was not to take advantage of any of our factories. So we started to create all this great goodwill. And then what ended up happening is we were getting serviced. So when it came to who they're going to manufacture for, they were able to manufacture our product as somewhat of a priority, which we didn't know at the time. We weren't making decisions for that reason. But in hindsight, it really benefited us because it put us in position to have the inventory needed so that when we started going through pandemic and then everything went online, all of a sudden we were like in the right place at the right time. And the truth is that Phil and Tinuiti really put us in position to capitalize, like how big is big, So they really gave us the platform to do that.
And we'll go over some of those points of when we talk about operations, the forecasting and planning we'll see here on the next slide. So I'll break it down into the components and trying to harness what are those challenges in supply chain and how do you get over them on Amazon. And it really is kind of broke it down into these 5 buckets. And I'll just pass over to Richard to start talking about pillar number 1, which is product planning. In apparel, very, very important because you have thousands of SKUs across many sizes. So it's one of the reasons I brought him out here. It's probably the most complex type of business you can have on Amazon is apparel. And we see it as probably our biggest challenge is working with apparel manufacturers over all other clients that we work with.
I mean, we really had to rethink how we did business with Amazon. Everything about what we did. I mean, I have a culture where school uniforms, one of the largest uniform brands in the country, right? We have over 5,000 SKUs, even more today. And when you start to think about that and say, okay, let's put everything on Amazon because we'll do more business, right? That was obviously the wrong way of thinking. But we had to learn the hard way because we were running out of inventory extremely quick, right? We weren't narrow and deep, right? We didn't have product planning set up right. And all these things were really us. We didn't have case packs. We were doing things in case packs the way we wanted the case pack product, right? And then along came Amazon, and we were struggling to keep up. We were struggling to stay in stock. I mean, I think, honestly, we were probably the easiest client Phil had because we did so much wrong when he found us. There was a lot of things. I remember in my early meetings with Phil, he told me, Richard, this is going to be really easy in the beginning because there's some basic things we need to do differently. And today it sounds so obvious and so easy, but back then it really wasn't because Amazon wasn't so clear, and the model and how you had to operate really wasn't so clear. But with the help of Tinuiti and Phil, little by little, we really made some game-changing changes to our business model, and we started to see the wins. And when you think about investing in the wins and you have a platform like Amazon, you start to see what it could really mean to your bottom line and like, hey, where do I sign up? Of course I'm going to want to do that. And then you start to get one win, you get another win, and then you just, you let the machine go and you see where it takes you. And that's really what we did together with Phil and really following a lot of his advice.
Moving on to, a great example from back then is, I think Richard and his team asked me in an interview process how to do something on Amazon because they weren't seeing success. And the example was they had a polo on the site. It was doing thousands of units. It was one of their top uniform SKUs. And Richard looked at me in the boardroom and said, hey, we have this other polo. It's our new slim fit, and we're only selling 50 units a week. And we can't figure out this Amazon flywheel, and why can't we get it? We've been trying for a year. Phil, how do we fix this? And I said, well, you got to sign the contract, then maybe I'll tell you. But I'm not going to give you the advice right now. But that's what he's talking about. These are they seem very basic principles, but we were quickly able in the first couple months of the engagement, able to look at the entire assortment. What are they building? What are they actually wanting to fulfill to Amazon versus being everything for everyone, which is kind of the mantra at Amazon. Coming from Amazon, we were taught to tell our clients to be the everything store, right? Have product from A to Z. So put your full selection up, put all 5,000 uniform items up. Well, that's not very efficient from a supply chain perspective. It's not efficient from an investment perspective, what products you're going to invest in. And so we quickly figured out that, hey, Richard, we're going to put these slim fit polos next to these regular polos. And within a couple of weeks, we were selling hundreds of slim fit polos because we now had the consumer already there on our uniform polo, and now we had them on a slim fit polo. And so it's these operational tactical changes that a lot of people may be not familiar with or don't know that they can do those things. And these are the skill sets that really our team at Tinuiti, right, is we've got over 25 ex-Amazon people on our team that we've seen over and over again for our clients and helping them get through these types of issues. And so investing in the right product mix is definitely a big one. Moving on, inventory planning. Why don't we go there? How did you plan your inventory differently after kind of starting with Tinuiti 6 years ago?
You know, it goes back to the SKU count. It goes back to never wanting to be out of stock. If you think about a school uniform, right? It's a navy pant, it's a khaki pant, it's a navy skirt, skirt, jumper, things of that nature. It's polo shirts, both for boys and girls, but it's product that's somewhat evergreen. It's product that doesn't really go out of style so quickly. So we were able to build the confidence, and you guys should know that we represent some incredible brands. I mean, I could use uniforms as an example, but Carhartt, Adidas are just some of the greatest brands on the planet when it comes to apparel. And there's still the same synergies there. So when you think about Adidas, you know, three-striped shorts or pants, track pants, stuff like that, you know, we're able to build a confidence in investing in the inventory. And it goes back to our whole business model of never wanting to be out of stock on the key styles.
Yeah.
But you can't do that when you have, you know, 82 different colors and so many different sizes. Then you go into packaging and you want to be able to have everything packed perfectly, right? But guess what? Amazon didn't want us packing it the way we wanted to pack it. So we had to take our inventory and really kind of wipe the slate clean. We either believe in Phil and everything that Tinuiti has and Ortega has, or we don't. And Phil and his team quickly earned our confidence. And I would tell you guys that we've known each other for many, many years. Every single season, my team would come to me and tell me, the staff that Phil had working on our account brought this value to the table, gave us this +1, helped us do this. So I could tell you there was a dollar and cents great value add to our company. And that just goes back to my original statement. Any great leader of a company wants to surround themselves with great people. And the more likely you could do that, the more likely you're going to be successful.
Yeah, I think inventory planning, we walked in there, another great example. All the inventory that was going to Amazon was what inventory was left over from other retailers, right? So, hey, we have our selection. This is what we're going to market with. And that's not an Amazon strategy. You've got to think about what SKUs are you going to have for Amazon, and you better have them available. You better have them ready to ship. You better have weeks of cover in your warehouse so that when you get new POs from Amazon, you can fulfill them. Because at the end of the day, there's a massive opportunity cost that people don't associate in their business model with Amazon is if you don't have inventory and you don't ship for a week and you are out of stock on the site, you're actually getting damaging feedback from the Amazon algorithm. So if he didn't forecast that business and it was just inventory that they had at their warehouse, this is a completely different thinking process for a company like LT Apparel that for decades had planned their inventory 6 months ahead, set their retailers and said, we're going to sell all this, and when it's gone, and then we have the next cycle coming in. And for them, we now sell some of the Adidas stuff. We still sell the same exact SKU from 6 years ago. Because why would you take something that's an original three-stripe that's selling very well and try to change it with a new UPC code and a new everything? And so there's a lot of these styles. So we've gone and consolidated to about 80% replenishment now. So they've gone from a no replenishment model in Amazon to an 80% replenishment model on Amazon over the last 6 years, where that inventory is built, forecasted, and brought to the US for one purpose only, and that's for Amazon. And that's gained tremendous efficiencies for them and also financially helped them, right?
It also has to do with, touches within the United States, right, where labor costs are significantly higher than in Asia, where we produce the majority of our products. The ability to be able to bring in product Amazon ready and not have to, service it is a big advantage for us. And unfortunately or fortunately, what ends up happening is we oversell our projections, and then we end up taking more of our product. We do pay the expense to convert it, but then we're able to just continue on the platform and increase our sales so that we never go out of stock.
So that goes right to this point we're talking about now, is aligning product mix and assortment. So many assortment changes, so many different inventory changes. The touches that Richard talked about, every time something hit their warehouse and had to get repackaged for Amazon, there was a cost to that, right? Most of apparel, and again, other industries have similar difficulties. They might be coming in a case pack from overseas. They might not be packed efficiently for Amazon. Now some warehouse worker has to go touch that pack and break up a 6-pack that has small, medium, large, extra large in it, and Amazon's just ordering the small, and they have to open that pack and take out a small. Well, there's a cost associated to that. Now everything is packaged in their sizes, in case packs from their supplier so that it can be more efficient.
It's really not just for Amazon. Really, when you think about doing business online in the consumer products world, in the clothing world, right, in the kids world, it's really just a shift in your whole business model. So, any business school would tell you that your whole business model has to be looked at and adjusted, right, every number of years. This is no different. So our company made major shifts in how we service our retailers. Top retailers in the country, we sell almost every one of them. But why would Amazon be any different? So we had to do the same thing for Amazon, and then what ended up happening is, as we got the easy wins, then we still wanted to push the envelope. We still wanted to be able to, never be out of stock. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but how many times you go into a store, right, look at a piece of clothing, want to buy it, they don't have your size. Your size isn't there, right? Imagine how much loss is happening at that retail. Imagine do they really know what the potential would have been for that item? I have it all the time when I go to buy products and see them. I get so frustrated. I say, wow, you look at Bonin and everything he talked about this morning, like that would be like game changing in the apparel industry if I could ever figure out how to do that. But I haven't figured it out yet, so this is my day job. But yeah, I think it's just an incredible time and opportunity to think about the Amazon platform and how to adjust your model to be able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll switch over to marketing. Obviously, the rest of the day here is all performance marketing. Obviously, this is very operationally based. It was a big challenge for LT. They were not marketing on Amazon, and they didn't want to invest because their dollars were in their ad budget for other things, right? TV, retailers, commitments, and I still remember talking to their executive team and saying, "Hey, where's $500,000 for Amazon?" And they're like, "Well, we don't have it in the budget, right?" And so you're going to hear a lot about marketing today. I think here the success in LT is that we've gotten them to start marketing, and now over the years, as their business has grown, they've become big fans of marketing on Amazon. So
yeah, I would say having a limited budget to spend, you really have to pick your spots. And Amazon has the ability to suck up every dollar you'd ever want to spend in marketing over 10 years in 1 year. So you really need to think about where you're going to get your wins, how you're going to get your wins. And I just think that planning ahead and really looking at where your wins are, A/B testing and stuff like that, you really could figure out, and that's what Phil and Tinuiti helped us do, is figure out what was giving us the best return on investment and then doubling down and tripling down on that so that we could increase our performance. I mean, it's not that complicated of a formula, but if you don't know how to navigate, it could get go sideways on you pretty quickly.
yeah, it's a great point. And we always talk about the tribal knowledge, right? And Richard would say, well, hold on, I got another email from Amazon to participate in Prime Day, to participate in this, and 100,000 here and 500,000 here. I think the manufacturers and brands out there have a really hard time deciphering, if I have $1 million budget, where should it be going? Should it all go to PPC? Should it go to certain events? Should it go to Treasure Truck? And so that's what we help demystify at Tinuiti for our clients, is say, let's look at what that total budget is, and let's not only think about PPC, but let's think about all these other avenues of Amazon that we need to invest in order to have a successful Amazon strategy in full, right? And that's really where we can add a lot of value to our manufacturing partners and our brands, is they don't know how those various campaigns are going to perform on Amazon. We've seen them all. We've been doing this for over a decade. We've seen which ones fail. We see which ones we shouldn't invest in. And so we're able to save our brands a lot of money in doing that. Lastly, I think we'll spend the last minute on this, Richard, is just talking about negotiating with Amazon. Again, not a marketing activity, but one that saved LT millions of dollars in the last 6 years is just understanding how to work with Amazon and effectively negotiate with Amazon.
You know, the one comment I would make to everybody is that Amazon is not just about give them every dollar and wish them luck, because that won't be a successful business model, and they don't want you to have an unsuccessful model, nor do you. So it's really about thinking about the right balance of giving Amazon everything they need, but giving it to them in a way that allows you to do well, allows you to meet the metrics you need, and then kind of building on it. And it's been a win-win. I mean, they really, I know, appreciate everything we do. We certainly appreciate it. Amazon's become one of our biggest clients and retail partners, you know, between Carhartt and Adidas, two brands that do have a lot of replenishment. It really created the platform for us to be able to say, like, here's the right ingredients, and then we had to kind of put it together and create our own success. And I would say just really having that right balance of getting the input from the experts and letting them guide us, but then really at the end of the day, you know, the decisions are still ours. We're still figuring out what exactly we want to do, where we want to invest. We're communicating with Amazon, but at the same time, we're not afraid of Phil and his team communicating with Amazon. So it's a very fluid relationship, and it's been just proven incredibly successful. So, you know, knowing what the platform could be was, I guess, like the foundation. But we've broken all records that we set for ourselves and are super pleased with it. And we really just look forward to continuing and looking to do more, you know.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, Richard. I thank you for coming out here and taking your time. Hopefully this was valuable. For those of you taking this stuff back and you might be more marketing focused, take it back to your operations team. Make sure that they're understanding how to work with Amazon and negotiating with Amazon. That's where they can save a lot of money. Usually we take that money and we reinvest it back into the marketing. So when we save LT that money, a lot of that money is going back into marketing activities to grow the platform. So that's also a win. Again, thank you. I know you guys are all probably hungry and ready for lunch, so we'll get off the stage. Thank you for joining.